or a region gets into big science
Kenya
projects,
boasts of highly educated fellows armed with rich technical knowledge and top-notch research skills, telltale signs of an academic-rich country. The country also within the equatorial margin provides a rich weather and strategic spot for scientific study, however, devoid of a practical basis to test these theories. But by an initiative by several Kenya University physics departments and astronomy enthusiasts in United Kingdom and South Africa, theory will turn to practice. The question is, what is astronomy?
Radio astronomy is about recording radio waves from distant objects in the universe in order to understand the universe. How is it made of? How is it evolving? And what physics lies out there. In optical astronomy, we use light to look into the universe. So there's a limitation in optical astronomy because light can be scattered, light can also be attenuated, whereas radio astronomy travels even farther, and you can do astronomy even during the day, unlike optical astronomy.
What will be in the Astronomy Observatory, and how was Mount Kulal and Oldonyo Nyiro south of Lake Turkana arrived at?
But in general, for good telescope sites, we would want a place that is, well, at least for optical astronomy, isolated from light pollution. And another prospect is stable weather conditions, so stable winds and also dry, so low humidity, because, well, of course, it's not good to have rain.
The modern-day telescope is digitalized, designed to collect terabytes of data by second. David Buckley from the South Africa Astronomical Observatory explained the ICT aspects of the scientific equipment.
And these images are quite large and take quite a lot of disk capacity, so you have to have the ICT infrastructure to handle the distribution of the data from the remote site. And that facility produces data, raw data, at a rate of 30 terabytes of data per second. Like most observatories around the world, it requires a breadth of skills that range from science, pure science like physics, astrophysics and astronomy.
The leading astronomy player in Africa, South Africa has reached milestones with the investments and research in the science. South Africa's Director of Astronomy, Department of Science and Technology, Takalani Nemangani, outlines the possibilities astronomy has.
I think in a small town like Sutherland, where we have had optical telescope, we have been able to turn that rural town into what we call an astro-tourism destination. We have attracted some of the leading astronomers in the world. So they've relocated to South Africa. You can still work and do a cool, high-tech work without having to go outside the country.
The project is not short of challenges.
So the training has remained largely theoretical. We now want to incorporate hands-on kind of training. And of course, funding has been a challenge. Of course, you have had this thing began way back in 2005. And of course, the funds dried up, and in between there was nothing. And even as we are thinking of going out there to install these instruments, the land issues in this country are quite complex.
The Astronomy Observatory is an ambitious project to be located in one of the remotest parts of the country. How are the locals set to benefit?
In South Africa, where we built a large telescope, the local community benefited because we built a community centre in the town with free computing and internet connectivity. We've sponsored scholarships for students from these rural areas to go to students that have passed their high school training and so on to go to university. Or student training and the exposure of students to science and technology, which
they'll have the infrastructural development in their own localities, and then they will be able to participate in science. And it's also important for documentation of our astronomical cultural heritage.
Kenya is on its way to carve a niche for itself in astronomy and technology with a step to set up an astronomy observatory and that way tap into ICT, astrotourism and climate study. Christine Kamau, KUTV.